Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX with me, Devika Devan. A political and infrastructure battle is now heating up in southern India over crucial metro rail projects. The central government has effectively, as per the DMK, stalled the proposed metro networks for Coimbatore and Madurai, returning their detailed project reports or the DPRs. The Union Housing Ministry has cited the National Metro Rail Policy, which requires the city to have 2 million or 20 lakh population according to the 2011 census, a benchmark that neither of the cities apparently meets. The centre has also flagged overestimation of ridership and financial viability concerns in the submitted plans. However, Tamil Nadu's ruling DMK government, led by Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, has fiercely pushed back, calling the decision quote-unquote revenge politics and a form of discrimination against the state. The DMK argues that the 2011 population data is grossly outdated, failing to reflect the current urban growth of Coimbatore and Madurai. They've also pointed out to similar metro approvals for smaller cities in other states, accusing the centre of applying an inconsistent policy standard. For now, the projects remain in limbo. The state government has vowed to revise the technical reports and resubmit the proposals, but the final go-ahead for these multi-crore infrastructure plans remains a major source of friction between the state and the central government. How does one move forward with that? With me on the broadcast, advocates Manasvi Thapar, political analyst, Dikshu Kukreja, town planner, Vinita Hariharan, political analyst, and Mr. Shrikant Karunesh of the BJP. We reached out to the DMK, however, they have officially refused to sit on this discussion. But let me begin with the BJP. Mr. Karunesh, several allegations raised by the DMK against your party. Number one, their point is that you can't really base decisions today and decisions of infrastructure solely on the 2011 census, and they do have a relevant point there, claiming that that data is outdated and does not reflect the current urban growth of Coimbatore and Madurai. How does the BJP explain that then?
Good evening to everyone. But DMK is very good in setting narratives with respect to elections. That too, false narratives. No, they are very expert in spreading rumors like this among the public, and that's what they are trying to do now. Instead of aiming for a metro for the public who are in need of it, they are creating some unwanted rumors, because this is only a official return of a document. It is not refuted document. Nobody has refused metro for Coimbatore and Madurai. They don't want to reveal this to the public. Instead of telling it is a returned document, center is expecting a better DPR with a lot of facts. I can tell you a number of reasons. In fact, Honorable CM, Mr. Stalin, when he made a tweet, that is a 3-page letter. He has shown only the 3rd page. He has not shown the 1st and 2nd page. Because they know very well, if they are showing the 1st and 2nd page, they are very much aware that those 2 pages contain the false facts and figures displayed. No, because they have created a DPR which is far beyond the actuals available. I can tell you plenty of examples. Because 2017 there is a guidelines drafted for metro rails, but they are not adhering to the documents. For an example, for creating a metro station, we should have 22 meters of space. But all the roads, 80% of the roads which is coming under Coimbatore metro zone are below 15 meters. So this is not practically feasible. And moreover, the time, we see generally metros are created in cities to save a lot of time, because the time span of the road and the metro was not very huge difference. It was almost matching to each other. And moreover, they lied on very many things. Instead of telling the population of Coimbatore metro, they were telling the population of Coimbatore district. Above than that, I can tell you one example which was explained by the union government. See, the Madras city has got more than 55 kilometers of metro range, and we have a population of more than 1 crore people. But the commuters are around 4 lakhs, less than even 4 lakhs per day. But they have predicted a commutation for Coimbatore, which is above 6 lakhs. because their metro range is less than 30 kilometers. Population is less than 20 kilometers, around 15 lakhs of people. When 1 crore people population is giving only 4 lakh of metro commuters, how can a 15 lakh population can give us more than 6 lakhs of commuters for that? Like that, plenty of flaws, and they need to correct their DPR. They have given it to a private agency. Mr. Stalin, instead of getting angry on the private agency which has drafted the DPR and handed over to the government, they are blaming the central government because they wanted to create an incorrect, false DPR, so that always there is a DMK's permanent narrative is one, center, the north is growing, south is not growing in comparison with north, because they wanted to give life to their narrative. They said, see, for north they have given so much of metros, Agra ko diya, isko diya, usko diya, and we are not getting in Tamil Nadu. They wanted to create a narrative, a false narrative phelana chahte the, so they are doing it successfully.
Okay, but Mr. Karunesh, you only raised the Agra, Patna, Bhopal points. I also want to get your perspective on that. That's another point that is being raised by the DMK, where they say that BJP ruled or BJP ally states are getting some of these projects approved, even though they don't meet the criteria that are being applied to us. And they've mentioned some other tier 2 cities like Agra, Patna, Bhopal, whose populations are below that 20 lakh mark as per the 2011 census. Yeah. So they say that the rule is flexible when it comes to BJP ruled or BJP ally ruled states. How do you respond to that?
No, that's a wonderful question. In fact, I forgot to tell that answer, because that's a beautiful question. I need to tell this to the public, because Agra, Patna, in those places, no, the DPR was submitted before 2017. These metro guidelines were drafted, so they come under different parameters. In fact, before 2018, they have received all their approvals. See, for Tamil Nadu, we were all talking about metros for Coimbatore and Madurai for the past 10 years. And when Stalin ji came, he said 21 itself, he said he will create metro for Coimbatore. But why for even preparing a DPR, you took more than 4.5 years, and now you are telling, because they wanted this election narrative. That is why they are doing it. I tell you one thing, more than 80% of the space which is needed for metro, that belongs, I mean, the land area which we have to acquisition karne ka jagah hai na, that is more than 80% is with private. And how long time they need? They say within 3 years we can complete the project. That is totally wrong. Even for acquisition, it will take so much of time. Every private will go to the court. And I am telling you, those Patna, Bihar, whatever list you have given, no, those places, it was not mostly on the private land acquisition there was no need. But here in Coimbatore, it is a small roads and thickly dense populated structures are there, and they cannot buy all the private lands within the 3 years and do this. Practically impossible thing. They should draft a DPR which is actually feasible and which gives facts and figures, possibility. When you are investing more than 15,000 of crores in that, you should draft with a lot of seriousness. It has to be drafted. But one thing is very clear: DMK government wanted this DPR for their election manifesto and not for getting the metro for public. That is very clear, because they are hiding first 2 pages and they are releasing only the 3rd page of returning the document. Central government has written, we are returning the document. They are only highlighting that. First 2 pages are blaming the government for creating a wrongful DPR. So that 2 pages, they have not released it. Only BJP released it later on. So that is the fact.
Okay.
Those metros were sanctioned before 2017 guidelines were drafted.
Okay. So I want to bring in Manasvi Thapar into the conversation as well. Manasvi, is this screaming political revenge, or is this just screaming now creating a controversy out of nothing? Because when the rest of us also read some of the updates that have come in, and also the BJP's explanation, it does make some sense when a political party is saying, listen, you don't have maybe the space to put up metro pillars, to put up those large metro stations, and maybe we should look at some other modes of transportation. So why create a political controversy out of it and once again talk about this north-south divide?
See, there is no city in our country which is designed for metros. You have to create infrastructure for metro. Delhi was not designed to be built to have metro to be built. If Agra, Patna, Bhopal, and other tier 2 cities with similar population gets metro, why cannot Coimbatore and Madurai get this metro? It's a basic. Tamil Nadu is a major contributor to India's GDP and taxes. Yet it has to beg for basic infrastructure that's smaller than other cities like Agra, Patna, and Bhopal. So this completely takes that power of Tamil Nadu and centralize it towards the center, and this is where destruction of federalism happens. And also BJP's ally AIADMK, they are also not favoring BJP in this. They are also demanding approval for metro. Metro is the most basic thing center could approve for them. Metro reduces congestion of traffic. It aids women's safety and economic productivity. And metro is not a luxury which DMK is asking. And I want to go even further. It is not DMK which is asking. It is the people of Tamil Nadu which is asking for a basic necessity for commuting. And this is something which is not a charity or a luxury, or any central government in the past have denied such kind of a demand by any city. And this state is a very large subsequent taxpayer, and then you deny this. And so I think DMK, it is in complete proprietary to ask the center on this kind of non-federal structure where they're functioning. And I don't think this goes right with the BJP. A double engine can only function when there is a BJP ruled state, and that is something which is completely unconstitutional. You can have opposition chief ministers and you can support them. And I feel that this is completely, if there are delays, we have cities like Ahmedabad which had 20 years delay in metro. So every land is either government land or private land. You have to acquire them. To create new age infrastructure, urban infrastructures, you have to acquire those lands. You have to get clearances. You have to get multiple levels of clearances. So that is the discretion of the state government. If there are project delays which happen, so DMK, who's in power, will be responsible for that. But denying them completely is not constitutional, is not federal, is not healthy for the people of Tamil Nadu. This is a unilateral decision which will not go in the favor of BJP, and they have to answer these things. If you can give it to Bhopal, if you can give it to Agra, what has the mistake of people of Tamil Nadu?
Okay, then I want to give Mr. Karunesh a chance to respond before I bring in Dikshu as well. Mr. Karunesh, fair point there raised by Manasvi there that, none of the Indian cities were really planned or built keeping some sort of a local railways or metro system in mind. He's given the example of Delhi, which really had to mold its way around the metro system. We're looking at what's happening even in Bombay, one of the most congested cities of India, now getting the metro system. So how does the BJP then explain?
One point I make it very clear, we are with the people, we want the metro, but we want the state government should be competent enough to create a possible DPR. They have made so much of flaws. Incorrect DPR cannot fetch us this. They are hiding their incompetency and they are putting the blame on the union government. Instead of blaming the private agency who drafted the DPR, they are blaming the union government. I have the answers for our gentleman who was speaking earlier. What Mr. Karthik Chidambaram, a senior Congress leader of Tamil Nadu, is telling. We don't need metro for Madurai and Coimbatore. Is telling only Chennai is good enough. Even we are not utilizing it properly. That's what he gave statement yesterday. And I tell you one more thing regarding acquisition of land. It's very difficult in Tamil Nadu. For Parandur Airport, the second airport near Chennai, for more than 5 years, land acquisition could not be completed. Entire project is hanging. And for 8-lane Greenway and 8-lane Greenway Road, for more than 7 years, the acquisition is not completed. And ADMK has sanctioned 6,000 crores budgetary sanctions during 2021. But after 5 years, 4.5 years, DMK was sleeping on that, and they didn't create a DPR. And after that, Hardware they are making one DPR and they are giving. And my fellow panelist was telling, all the roads are very small. One of the road in Coimbatore where the metro station is projected is Post Office Road, which is only 7 meters, whereas it has to be 22 meters. So they have to draft a proper lane.
Okay, all right. Okay, fair enough.
Allow me.
Fair enough. One second, Manasvi, I'll let you respond to that. But Dikshu Kukreja, I also want to bring you because you're speaking from a very practical point of view here. Keeping the politics of it aside, how critical is it for us to move away from certain ideas that have already been implemented in some cities? Because clearly Delhi is not doing very well in terms of planning. Let's be honest. Look at the state of Gurgaon right now. So where now there is, my question comes from this. There is an opportunity in certain parts of India, in tier 2, tier 3 cities, in villages, for us to learn from the mistakes we've made in, say, a Delhi, Gurgaon, Bombay, revise those mistakes and implement something way better. What are your thoughts on the same?
Good question, and I'm not going to actually wade into the politics of this, but as an urban planner, I just wish to state as follows, that, what we need to look at is a more logical, a more data-driven solution which has to be geared towards sustainable urban mobility. So this whole thought of, okay, give me the metro because such and such other city has the metro, I don't think that's logical at all. As has been explained by Mr. Karunesh, if there is a certain national policy which spells out the statistics in terms of what population demands then a certain kind of a public transport solution, we should adhere to that. And you know what? It's not about just whether it can be a metro or not a metro. There are multiple other solutions you can study from around the world, whether it is the tram system in San Francisco or Melbourne, whether it is the BRT system, very successful, by the way, in cities like Bogota, or even light rail transit. So there are so many systems that are successful, and we need to study those. Yes, I agree that if the ridership of the metro is going to be abysmally low, then it's a criminal waste of public money to be spending on a mass transit system where the population is not just about 1.5 million or 2 million people. So we need to come up with sustainable solutions, and that's one side of it. The other side of it, incidentally, my firm, CP Kukreja Architects, was the first Indian firm to work on the metro system, which started with Delhi and then with Mumbai. But we were able to design a metro even in crowded, congested areas like Chowdi Bazaar, Chandni Chowk, etc. So technically, there are solutions for everything. Let's not go that route. The point here is that we need to find the sustainable urban mobility solutions for every city. And there has to be a national policy for it. It cannot be which political party is ruling that deserves it or doesn't deserve it. And that's sad if we start demanding these things or we start denying these things on the basis of which political party is ruling or not ruling. We have to find the right solutions, and trust me, there are solutions around the world, successful, I may add, which are multimodal as well. So you can have different modes of transport integrating with each other depending on which part of the city of Coimbatore or Madurai or any other city for that matter that we are thinking of implementing. And yes, I agree with the fact that unless DPRs, the detailed project reports, which warrant this kind of a system are exhaustive enough, are data-driven, then just deciding whether this system should be introduced or not, I think is foolhardy, I think is hasty, and I think is not the professional way of going about it.
Okay, Manasvi, you wanted to make a point before I bring in Vinita Hariharan. Manasvi, go ahead.
Yardsticks in which metro policy has been drafted since 2017. It is not something which is a new policy. It has been there since many years. And the basic idea is any city which has a population of more than 2 million people is the basic immediate trigger to have metros. And this is to be comparison. As per the comprehensive mobility plan, you have to have a study of which model will work out. You may have a BRTS model, you may have a Metro Light model, you may have a Metro New model, you may have a suburban rail model. And only after these comparative studies, a state will go to center and say that we are ready for a metro because these triggers are already there. And with this trigger, the center will have a counter proposal that will it be a PPP model? Will it be a 50-50% model? How are you going to operate? But denying that communication at all is not something which is healthy for any state. A state like Tamil Nadu and a city like Coimbatore, Madurai, they have a basic necessity because these cities with the data itself is above 20 lakh of population. And this is the first immediate trigger when Bhopal. So the only premises which I'm coming from is if Bhopal can have a metro, if Patna can have a metro, if Agra can have a metro, and the basic trigger in all these three named cities was that they had a population of more than 20 lakh people. And with the similar yardstick, if Coimbatore and Madurai is having the similar population trigger, why is center denying to have a comprehensive mobility plan coming from the state itself? So what is happening here is, before you move ahead, before you get into that economic idea, that will it be a successful economic idea? And let me remind you, as per the 2017 policy, it mandates that every project should be at least 14% economically viable. Only then that will be allowed. So these discussions have not even been allowed for Tamil Nadu government. At least because of the population cap, as per the 2017 policy, you allow them do a feasibility study, do an economic check, and then deny it. Get the people of Tamil Nadu on table, discuss with them, and then decide what is right for people of Tamil Nadu. Just by sitting at center and denying them completely this basic necessity of commutation is not right. And this is against the policy which was made by NDA itself in 2017. So that has to be properly checked out. You cannot have different yardsticks for different states. It's entire India. The federal structure of India can only be successful and can only be as successful as each and every opposition states are successful. Now, for example, after elections, at the time of election, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that you'll have metros. Won't that be a trigger against federalism? So you have to have equal yardsticks. As a prime minister, as a ruling dispensation at the center, all your states are equal states.
Okay.
These are Indian states.
No,
you
no,
cannot
no.
have
Okay.
different yardsticks.
No.
Okay.
It is not refuted.
Yes, it's not refuted. It's been sent back for revision. Yes. Vinita Hariharan, I want to bring you in as well. Is this becoming political for no reason?
No, absolutely. This is, I think, untimely and blowing out of proportion. As Karunesh just clarified, it's gone back for revision only. It's only a revision that we have asked. And being an urban planner myself, I'm happy to see another urban planner on the show. But if you look at the planning benchmarks, just quoting the Metro Rail Policy 2017 itself, there are population benchmarks, there are demand forecasts to be seen, financial sustainability, multimodal integration. All of these aspects holistically has to be examined in a DPR. It's not just one population benchmark that needs to be ascertained for deciding whether a particular city needs metro rail. And I think this is being politicized for no reason, as you said, because there are the BJP ruled states as well where metros have been approved, and even in Chennai itself, the metro projects worth 63,000 crore is being supported by the center through multilateral financing frameworks. So where is the question? And we all know the government's the focus on Tamil Nadu, the kind of projects, the kind of infrastructure announcements for even Madurai and Coimbatore by the present government. So I think this whole narrative of being neglected just because one particular DPR was asked for correction is completely unjustified. And if you look at the figures of the budgetary allocations also for Tamil Nadu over the years, the last 10 years, there have been multiple times increase in the rail budget that has gone to Tamil Nadu over the last decade. So compared to the pre-2014 era, there have been a multifold increase in the rail allocations to Tamil Nadu. And not only rail, the multiple infrastructure programs, projects announced for Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore and Madurai have also been recipients of central funding. And, so this whole narrative that Tamil Nadu is being neglected, we have a vice president from Coimbatore. So, if you're looking at other aspects of, the political aspects. So I think it's completely unjustified, and even technically, it's too early to say that it's been rejected. As Karnesh has already mentioned, the technical details of why it has been asked to, been revised. So I think those aspects have to be seen, and it will be revised, and definitely the center will approve it. Having worked in so many ministries, I also know how projects are examined and reviewed. Obviously, there has to be due diligence when you have such a huge project coming on the table. Why are all the engineers sitting there? Then obviously we need to have a DPR examined with due diligence and reviewed with all the technical parameters taken into consideration.
Okay, all right. On that note, viewers, I've completely run out of time, but I thank all of our guests for joining us on the broadcast to take that conversation forward. With that, a very short break.